Alright guys, gonna make another one for today. I've actually made 3. This will be the 3rd video I've made today, so I'm doing pretty good with rolling these out, I would say. But this one isn't really like a super research topic or anything like that. I'm actually working on, well, I'm gonna wait for more to come out, but the Shiloh situation in Minnesota has me pretty interested, so look out for a video for that. That'll be a little bit more of an edited one that I'll work on next week. But this one is just a little bit more of a heart-to-heart, I guess. I'm going to make a lot more of these vlogging style videos just as I think of things to talk about. And this one is just going to be about how just nobody trusts anyone anymore. Something that I'm struggling with myself. Now, this could be, as I've heard online, a terminally online causality. By being online a lot, you tend to feel more isolated, yada, yada, yada. But that's not really the case. I still go to the gym. You know, I don't have a job right now. I'm sure that's contributing, but also one of my best friends of the past 4 years is now not in my life. He's gotten like a job in another state, so I'm sure that contributes to it too. I don't really have as much social interaction. You know, that's just something that's kind of happening as I'm getting older anyway, though, is the isolation mounts every year, it seems, especially since I don't have a wife. But I don't think it's that, guys. I really think that we just live in a society now where nobody trusts anyone, right? Like, I was thinking about this today, and this is what made me want to make the video, is like, I don't trust doctors anymore. I don't trust bankers anymore. I don't trust anyone that's giving advice. I don't trust the red pill. I've already made a video about the red pill. I think the red pill prescriptions have failed men in many ways because it's just male feminism, right? Like, there's grains of truth in there, but you have to just look at what it is they're actually doing. They're just trying to sell you something. That's all it is. And you know, obviously you could say that about me in this channel, right? I'm trying to sell you a message, which is true in the sense that I'm trying to grow the channel, but I don't necessarily have expectations either way. Like, this channel will either grow with my persistence or it won't, because there's a lot of luck that comes along with YouTube. You know, it just doesn't happen for everyone. So, and if that ever did happen, by the way, if I ever did attain a level of success on here, I would be pretty open about sharing that with you guys. So there is like this aspect of just every domain of society, right? Another thing, I'm having like a really hard time, like I've said, finding jobs right now. I've been on LinkedIn. I've walked into places and like have spoken to managers, like several managers. You know, I've worked on my resume like I don't know how many times, to the point where it's like I don't know if these things are being fed into AI. I don't know if nobody reads them. I don't know. Like, it just goes back to the trust issue. I've been into interviews, like I don't trust anyone. It's really, really discerning how bad it's gotten. And the thesis of this video is that I don't think that this is just a me thing. I don't think anybody trusts anybody right now. Because you have the normies, right? They always will exist. But I think we're entering a point now, as the millennials are aging, and we're basically in our 40s now. And Gen Z, you know, they're mid-20s, roughly, right? Where, you know, we have about 2 to 3 generations, if you include Gen X, that have seen past the I hate to use it because it's such a cliche at this point, but have seen past the matrix, right? Like we've seen the world for what it is. We've gone through COVID. I've said before, COVID was just, it just destroyed everything as far as trust goes. But yeah, I don't know, there's just this sense of bitterness within me. It's not directed towards anyone in particular, right? Like politicians, religious leaders, like whatever, right? There's problems with everyone. I understand, like, because I have a very Christian perspective. Like we're all fallen, you know. We're this is the human condition. So it's not like a bitterness towards anyone in particular, but it's like a bitterness towards just everything. Like I just hate it here, right? Like, and that's another thing. I'm not suicidal at all. I've never had suicidal ideation. I think when I was like really young, the thought crossed my mind when I was like a teenager, right? But it didn't like blossom into any attempt or anything like that. No, it's not that either. It's just like, what's the point? It could be women. Like I've thought about this. The women, the woman question. You know, I've made a video on that already, and I'll be making future videos on that. This could now, in a way, kind of be one of them. But yeah, I do think that men not having women. This is why I'm just tired of the red pill. I really am. I'm sick of the red pill. Like, oh, bro, just go out and make money, bro. Just go out and work out, bro. Go out and it's like, why would I do any of these things if there's no woman at the end of the tunnel, right? And you know, again, from the Christian perspective, you could look at it as like God, right? There, especially the path I'm going down, which is more of the Orthodox perspective, where you could be like a seraphim rose. You could go and be like a monk, go live in the mountains. But I don't think that's not most guys. Like the seraphim roses of the world, the nuns, all the women have become nuns voluntarily too. It's very weird. They're out there still like having sex with a bunch of guys, but they're also they're not getting married, so they're like it's just so weird. It's like this weird Moloch cult. But yeah, not every guy is going to want to be a monk, right? We're kind of just forced into this, is what it feels like. Like men are expected to go out and do men things with no reward, absolutely no reward. There's this concept I've been talking about. I'm not taking credit for this. I've heard this from Andrew Wilson, called covert feminism. And that was a really depressing weight that had to sink in my brain. That it was like, oh shit. Not only are the, like, you know the leftist women, and I've dated some, you know they're insane. You know that they're completely indoctrinated, right? They're the ones out there tattooing their bodies, you know, not going to the gym at all, dyeing their hair like blue, whatever, you know the type, putting like 50 piercings in their face. But there's the covert is even more depressing, because then you realize that the women, even the women that look right, the moment you start talking to some of them, they're not mentally, they're feminists. Essentially what I'm getting at. They've all been trained to do everything but start a family. Start a family for most women, and again, not all. I'm talking about most modern women. Starting a family is the last thing on their mind. Getting married is the last thing around. And I know why this is. This is one fair criticism of the red pill, is that because the state is involved, marriage is now a legal contract. You know, now they let the homos get married too, so it's completely stripped it of any meaning. So I totally get that criticism. I think it was Warren Farrell that wrote that book, the Myth of Male Power. He goes over that in that book. It's like an older book. It's like a before the manosphere existed. It's like a older book, but I read that several years ago, and but yeah, I don't know. like I said, this video doesn't have a clear direction, but it's just essentially that I don't trust anything. I think a lot of men, like, I don't think it's the men. I really don't. I don't think it's us. You know, like, I've talked in the past, I have my vices still with pornography, largely because, you know, I have the urges of a man. But other than that, you know, I play video games, but I mean, I don't drink, you know, I'm not going out and I'm not in tons of debt. I just don't understand. I can't get a job, obviously, but I don't think that's me as well. I just think that's like the world, the economy. We're playing politics in jobs too. Like, that's like another thing. Donald Trump keeps talking about merit, right? We're going to bring back merit. Merit-based hiring. It's not going to happen, guys. It's not going to happen. The only time merit-based hiring is going to happen is when things stop working. And what that's going to mean is that the trades, okay, that doesn't mean like the schools need to basically, that'll be a video for another day. I did a video about college debt, but probably do a video about universities because Trump is going after their tax exempt status. I don't know. It just feels like, especially politically, that's another thing. You can't trust elections, especially now. Like, I don't know if I ever could trust them. As long as I've been paying attention to them, right? Because the first time I ever voted, I'm shamed to admit, because I live in Utah, I voted for Mitt Romney in 2012 because I didn't know anything back then, and I just knew that Obama still sucked, so I was right about that, but Mitt Romney was just as bad. It was like a false dichotomy, right? That's something they did a lot. You can study that with George W. Bush and John Kerry. They both went to Yale. They were both part of Skull and Bones. So, like, no matter who won that election, it wouldn't have mattered. The war in Iraq would have happened no matter what, essentially, because we all know who occupies our government. Again, can't say it on YouTube, but our greatest ally. So, yeah, I don't trust that. There's a lot of churches I don't trust. That's another thing. Like, a lot of this religious advice that I get, I don't trust it because it all has liberalist priors, essentially. There's no masculinity in the churches anymore. That's why I'm going into Orthodoxy, but I still have to find a church. In Utah, it's just Mormons, and you know, Mormons aren't the worst people. There's a lot of based Mormons. I'm not attacking the people, but the actual religion itself, it is very much a modern religion, you could say. Modern priors, you know, the Darwinist worldview. They don't. It's not like it's a lot of people aren't aware of this. That's the problem. So it's like, that's another aspect of society why it's hard to trust anything, is because I know that most of this is fake and gay, but most people don't know that still. And you know, I was watching Blood Satellite Grimes, really good channel if you guys haven't checked that out, but he reads like tons of books. Him and another channel, The Prudentialist, they do these streams together where they just talk about these really obscure books that they read. They'll just read anything. That's like what's so fascinating about them. But Grimes said something that just really kicked my ass the other day. He said, because I experienced this, but I didn't have like a word for it. But he essentially said, like, the more you read, the more you want to die. And I mean, it's true. It's true. Like, I remember when I started going on this journey of learning about things, just that was really my goal. I was like, I'm just going to learn about things. I think it started with finance. You know, sucker millennial, like our entire lives, because we've been punching bags for our entire existence. You know, I thought, oh yeah, I'm gonna learn about finance. 2018, right? Like when I turned 30, essentially, I was like, oh, I'm gonna take this seriously. I'm going to read Robert Kiyosaki, and I'm going to read what's the Dave Ramsey, all these clowns. They really are clowns now, in hindsight. Robert Kiyosaki, by the way, he got rich off oil in the 70s, which was when Nixon switched after the gold standard was abolished. Nixon put us on the oil standard. So literally Robert Kiyosaki just got lucky. That's what he'll never tell you. He talks about all the time that he invested in oil, but he never tells you, like same with Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey got rich off of selling Dave Ramsey. He actually was a financial failure before he got famous, and I don't know how these people got famous, again, probably some backroom dealings involved, but completely astroturf. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, this is why you can't trust experts. You can't trust anything because you don't know where it comes from. And when you research it, you're just like, oh shit, this is also fake and gay. So I'm kind of rambling. I apologize if this is just a complete downer video, guys, but this has just really been bothering me lately. Probably just because I've been on LinkedIn a lot. I think that's just really kicking my ass. Like, I've been on LinkedIn just submitting resume after resume, applying, reading the job descriptions. Like, oh my gosh, that should be a layer of hell in Dante's Inferno, where you're just reading job descriptions, right? Like, just all the crap they say, like all the degrees they want you to have. Everyone's in student loan debt, right? It's like, have we not paid enough for these degrees? Apparently not. Now we need certifications for everything. Then there's like on the job trainings. It's just never ending, right? TOS's terms of service get updated. Every single aspect of your life is micromanaged, and you just get exhausted. That's what it is. This is a video that I'll probably make its own video on, but I have a theory of what actually causes depression, because I have family members that have depression, and friends that have depression. I have depression, right, by modern standards. But that will be its own video. I have a pretty good, well-researched theory of what actually causes it, and I won't spoil it here, because this video is just focusing on what I said. How do you trust anything anymore? I feel like I can't trust anything anymore. I can't trust women, can't trust boomers, can't trust the older generations, because the boomers were the first generation that got mass propagandized, so they really don't know what the hell they're doing either. I think the quote "fake it till you make it" came from the boomers. I don't actually know where that quote came from, but I remember hearing that when I was in like college. Like, my college professors would say that when I was like, I'd go and like ask them questions when I was doing like presentations or writing research papers, and they would look at me like, well, just fake it till you make it. Like, one lady literally said that to me, and it was, I don't know, just all this stuff. So you got fake advice, you got fake, I'm not going to say, I mean, the women are kind of fake, especially too, we're entering into like this AI world. So the Coom pod might, as Jay Dyer talks about, might become a reality, where you just basically, I'm kind of already in that. You just sit in your room and think all day. That's the thing too about the Coom pod, is like they want you to sit in your bug pod and be pleasured all day, but like there comes a point where you can't be pleasured anymore. Like, I don't know if the overlords have thought of this. Like, even with money, I've had points in my life where I've never been rich, but I've had points in my life where I've had tons of disposable income. I used to buy shirts. You guys already know, back in the day, I bought so much Eagles merch. It was insane. I used to just surround myself with Eagles. It never made me really any happier. I mean, it kind of gives you that little boost of dopamine when you're first like participating in the act of like, I'm on eBay and I'm clicking buy, right? Or I'm on NFL Shop, and there's this new Eagles hat came out. I haven't even bought any of the Eagles merch yet from the recent Super Bowl because my mind is just so much different now. But I just that was all it did. So like their plan of like we're gonna completely coom them up and give them unlimited porn, and I don't know what's coming down the pipe. AI girlfriends. If you guys have watched Blade Runner 2049, I have a thesis that that's literally the world that they're presenting for us. Because that's another thing, by the way. Everything Hollywood puts in the movies, it's not fiction, guys. It's what they actually want. They're always telling on themselves. We all know who runs Hollywood. If you guys don't know who runs Hollywood at this point, look it up. Like I said, can't go into detail on YouTube. They have a particular message. That message is portrayed in movies across the board. So when they make a movie like Blade Runner or even like Alien, I'm not talking about the creature in Alien. I'm talking about Wayland Yutani as a corporation flying ships into space, right? These are desires. It doesn't mean that they will happen, but these are desires of the ruling elite. So you can't trust movies. You can kind of trust books, but I mean, even history. I can't remember who had this quote. It was like, history would be a wonderful thing if only it was true. Because history is written by the victor, but I mean, you gotta, you don't have to trust history, but it's still worth knowing. That's actually one of the few things, I think. And another thing you can trust, just my personal opinion, is God, because God is truth. So it's called theosis. As you walk with God, you can come to the truths. But that is the truth of our age. That's going to be kind of my closing statement here, is that the truth of our age is that everything we were told, maybe not everything, but like 90% of what we were told and what the boomers were told is a complete lie. Right? Like there is no end of history. That never happened, right? I've talked in the past, like I was born in 1988. The Soviet Union collapsed in 1989. That was when Samuel Huntington, he wrote a book called The Clash of Civilization talking about this. I think it's Francis Fukuyama was the one that quoted that term, the end of history. Sam Francis wrote a book, really good book, by the way, called The Clash of Civilizations, talking about what a post-Cold War world is going to look like. And he was pretty spot on, but nobody seemed to listen to him other than like Henry Kissinger. But again, all these guys, they were all part of the globalization process. They wanted to make us all into one giant blob of whatever. They really pushed this during COVID, right? They wanted us all to just conform. And so much I could go into on COVID, but yeah, that's kind of the video, guys. It's kind of the video. I don't trust anything. I don't know if I'm just talking into the void right now, right? Because I'm going to just keep making these videos until they get some attention, but it is what it is. It's the burden of our time. The burden of our time, right? And it does suck being, I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but yeah, like being, who knows what the Zoomer, I feel like the Zoomers have more hope because they're young as this is happening, but like the millennials, we're waking up like right when we're supposed to be living, essentially, like middle age. The boomers are almost dead, so they might have to deal with some of this hardship that's coming, but more likely most of them won't. They'll just die in their McMansions that they didn't inherit to their children, so their mansions will go to the state, and the boomers will just, I really think the boomers are going to be one of those generations where they're just, once they're gone, their legacy is just going to be like a blip in history, like what the hell happened, right? just my theory. But anyway, guys, that is the video. I didn't say it during the video. Like I keep saying that I'm gonna say it, but please like and subscribe to the channel. Comment down below, share the videos. This is Jigsaw. My name is Joey, and these are my vlogging. These are my thought videos. So I hope you enjoy these, and thank you for watching, and I will talk to you all later.